Welcome to English Corner for 10th grade. Did you know that a person uses 7,000 words a day and that an English speaker person can know between 20,000 and 40,000 words? That means that a person usually uses between 17 and 35% of the words they actually know. Now, are you ready to learn more English language words? Let's go! Today, we're going to learn how to describe the frequency of the activities that we perform on a daily basis, or better to say, describe our routines. For this, we will need these materials.
Number 1. Copybook or sheet of paper. You will need this to write the contents that are mentioned in this video. Number 2. A camera. It can be any type of camera in which you can take some pictures. And number 3. Your disposition. I believe you can do this. Thus, you need to believe in your own capacities.
Before we continue with the video, remember that you can always pause the video, go back or go forward as much as you need so you can comprehend everything that is mentioned in this video. Now that we have all the materials that we need, let's begin. Before we can start, I'm going to explain to you some key concepts that we need to know before we can describe our routine.
To describe the frequency in which we perform an action, we use adverbs of frequency. An adverb is a word that describes the amount of time or how many times we perform an action. For example, usually, often, etc. A routine is a sequence of actions that are regularly followed. For example, wake up, have breakfast, etc. For this video, we're going to focus on 3 adverbs: often, usually, and never. Let's see the following timeline to comprehend the meaning and use of these 3 words. 90% of the time is represented with usually. Usually refers to an activity that is performed most of the time. 70% of the time is represented by often. Often refers to an activity that is performed less frequently. And 0% of the time is represented with never. Never refers to an activity that is not performed at all. Now, let's see some examples of these adverbs. Number 1, usually. He usually checks his emails in his smartphone. Number 2, often. They often talk to each other on the phone. Number 3, never. The boy never cleans his room.
Now that we know how to describe the frequency of the activities that we perform on a daily basis, or better to say our routine, I'm going to present you with a challenge. Think of your daily routine. What is the frequency of the activities in your routine?
For example, my routine. I usually wake up at 8 a.m. I often play with my niece at 10 a.m. I never drink mate in the morning. We, my family and I, usually have lunch at 3 p.m. I often check my Instagram notifications at 5 p.m. And I never go to bed at 10 p.m. This is the challenge. Now let's see the steps for this. To answer the question for this challenge, you will need to follow these steps.
Number 1. Identify 6 activities that you perform on a daily basis. For example, drinking tea at breakfast. Number 2. Write a sentence for each of these activities describing the frequency. Number 3. You will take a picture performing this activity. Number 4. You're going to send a picture with the description of the activities to my email at jballesteros@scce.cl or my Instagram profejavi.sc. Number 5. Remember to include your name and class. It's the end of the video. But don't worry, you can always send me your questions or doubts to my email or my Instagram.
Also, remember to follow our high school's Instagram at Tercer Ciclo SC and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at YouTube SC Canal.
I'm sure your answers to the challenge will be great. I believe in you. So should you. See you next time.